Hi and welcome. So today I want to share more about self-responsibility and how that's going to help you resolve your emotional eating. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and emotional eating guide. And I wanted to talk a bit more about self-responsibility and sort of taking your power back in that regards, because a lot of the times the solutions for our emotional eating are very external to us, and they're almost saying that they know better than us. It's not an inward directed approach, it's really external. And of course, that's the way our society is set up. You know, this person knows better than this person, and you need to do this. And it's sort of like you're fitting your round self into a square box, trying to fit into everything. And what I want to invite you into is really looking at turning towards yourself and becoming curious about what you need individually. Because emotional eating is really this coping pattern that we use to just cope with that internal sort of disconnection and discomfort. And, you know, when this pattern is usually started is because we haven't gotten our needs met. And so we're trying to kind of substitute in for those needs, not ever knowing how to truly access them within ourselves. And so this is why when we look at the different diets and all of the things external to us, we don't know how to connect back to ourselves. And if they're not directing us back to who we are and learning the nuance of ourselves on multiple levels, they get lost. And so this was my journey as well, because I tried all the diets. I had a trainer, a nutritionist, therapist, all of the things. And it just didn't get me to really see myself. There were just, all of those things are beneficial, but it just didn't fit because I wasn't checking in with myself. I was sort of just giving my power away externally and saying, yes, you know better than me, and I'm going to do this and tell me how I'm doing. And while guidance is so important, we need to also feel like we're getting in touch with ourselves and connecting back the pieces in that way. And so when we take that responsibility, what we're doing is we are sort of filtering everything that's given to us through this lens of, how does this fit for me? Does this make sense for me? And really trying to tune in more and more to if it resonates and if it's working to help us move forward. And so with emotional eating, this is so important because we have spent so many years just trying to avoid ourselves. Emotional eating at its core is this avoidance of our emotions, of what's really going on for us, because our emotions are giving us information about our experience of life. And if we keep avoiding these emotions with emotional eating, whether we're consciously doing it or subconsciously doing it, or just, we can't deal with our emotions, we're essentially just disconnecting more and more from our experience of life and who we are. These emotions give us information about ourselves, what we like, what we dislike. And so when we sort of keep emotionally eating or keep sort of, not tuning back into what we truly need, and we're trying all the different external solutions, it's disconnecting us more and more. And we're not taking that responsibility for ourselves. And the way I like to look at this is that if you had a small child in front of you, that child comes with its own preferences and likes and dislikes. And so if you keep saying, this is wrong, you should like this, you should do this, you should eat now, you're shutting down their inner knowing and they become lost. And that's where we give our power away. And so we want to come back to who we are. And this is a multi-layered process. And so this is why when I work with clients, we go through different levels of this pattern. At the core, it's about emotions, but we also need to learn how to connect back to ourselves, learn how to connect back to food because we've been, abusing it, connect back to our body because we haven't been listening to it, connect back to our emotions because that's sort of the biggest thing we have pushed ourselves away from. And it wasn't that we consciously, what I see with clients is this pattern happens at a very young age. And so we weren't modeled how to get our true needs met. We weren't modeled how to be with emotions. We weren't sort of given that regulation. And so we had to figure out a way to cope, which was through food. And so when, at this young age, that's how we decide to cope, we couldn't have taken the responsibility that we can now, because now we can see it for what it is. And so as we take that responsibility, we're actually taking our power back. We are sort of correcting what was, not correct at that time, and sort of putting everything into its place. And so learning how to relate to food, our body, and our emotions in a healthier way that's going to be more beneficial, because we learn to cope with our emotions and sort of dismiss our signals in our body and, use food as this sort of crutch. Our relationship to these areas is not, like I was saying, it's not healthy. It's not beneficial to us. And it served a purpose, and now it's not beneficial. And so as we come back to ourselves in those areas and take responsibility, what we're actually doing is saying that it's important for us to have compassion for ourselves, to understand this pattern, and to now, really look at ourselves and give ourselves that attention. And that's really healing in and of itself, to come back and give yourself that attention, to give yourself that compassion, to say that you're important enough to deal with this pattern that is not helping your life, that's not helping you move forward in your goals, that's not making you feel confident in your body, and it's not making you feel good around food. It's sort of this battle and this struggle. When we come back, all of those areas you sort of land. It's sort of this aha, this exhale, where you have this relationship to food that's nourishing, that you start accepting your body and feeling good in it. And you start, honoring your emotions and understanding that they're messengers telling you about yourself, and they're giving you information and connecting you back to your true needs. And so this is such an amazing place to be in. And so that is the beauty of taking responsibility and really resolving this pattern and turning towards yourself. So if you have any questions about what I've shared with you, please let me know. This is something that we do inside of my program, the Emotional Eating Evolution Program, which is a step-by-step process guiding you through the 3 main areas that we disconnect from in terms of nourishment, body, and emotions. And it is a program full of lots of support and guidance and meditations to connect you back to yourself, to turn you towards yourself so that you're resolving this pattern from the root. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can find out more about the program below, and you can also book in a call if it is calling to you, and you can find out the information for that below. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, and I look forward to sharing more with you, and I hope you have a great day.